consolation game.
Well, obviously 1,000-yard rusher.
The game will be starting momentarily.
The defense is going to have to be able to get gas when just a couple weeks ago they had ran on for what felt like 1,000 yards by Dalton Garner. Pretty much just one quarter. So the run game is something that Dunkirk is making a movement that they're kind of vulnerable to. So containing 1,000-yard rusher is going to be a task that they'll have to be ready for.
And you talk about the injuries for Lewiston-Porter. They're going to be down at their starting right guard for 6.
Well, welcome everyone to Dunkirk High School here as we prepare for an exciting matchup between Lewiston-Porter and your home Dunkirk Marauders. The Marauders have dealt with quite a few injuries this season, and with collarbone injuries to both Phil Messina and Earl Stewart, that means Alec Alstrom will get the start at quarterback. He's 6-foot sophomore. Will look to lead the Marauders to victory in just a few minutes as we approach kickoff.
Yeah, and that's just a play with football around Western New York. It seems like, Dunkirk's an exception, but even their count's a little bit lower than normal. And you got like teams like Chicago Lake, Westfield Brockton, who are only at about 25 to 30 kids, and that's 3 schools combined. So, maybe we don't need to get into numbers being down, on the pregame show. But that is something that's kind of a story all throughout Western New York.
We'll take another 2-minute timeout and continue on with our pregame show from Carl Hefner Field as we get ready for kickoff between Dunkirk and Lewiston-Porter. Back in 2 minutes right here.
Huh?
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Chuck Bowl consolation game between the visitors from Lewiston-Porter. The Lewiston-Porter Lancers and your Dunkirk Marauders. And now introduces the visitors from Lewiston-Porter, the Lewiston-Porter Lancers. And now let's welcome your starting defense for your Dunkirk Marauders. Number 5. The starting offense, number 5, at fullback, Inwell Barreto. At quarterback, number 8, Alex Ostrom. At flanker, number 23, Jose Camacho. At split end, number 28, Peyton Ostrom. At running back, number 30, Chris Ortiz. At fullback, number 32, Juan Rosado. Offensive tackle, number 50, Jimmy Bautista. Offensive lineman, number 55, Mike Papilia. Offensive lineman, number 56, Devin Land. Ex-center, number 62, Austin Frieditz. At guard, number 75, Joel Burgos. And at tight end, number 82, Nick Zortorski. And the rest of your Dunkirk Marauders.
Carl Hefner Field, where the Dunkirk Marauders are right now being introduced at midfield as they get ready for their final game of the 2019 football season, and they're almost set to take on Lewiston, and we're getting ready for the national anthem momentarily. But one thing is always interesting to keep an eye on, Anthony, when looking at these bowl games is the motivation.
So we are just a few moments away from kickoff here. The Marauders will head to the sideline, and let's take it down to the field for the presenting of the colors.
Being presented by the Dunkirk High School Junior ROTC colors and the playing of our national anthem.
This should be a pretty good game.
We'll take a timeout and pause for our national anthem. Back on the other side in 2 minutes on WDOE.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all spectators, at the conclusion of today's contest, Section 6 football will be awarded the favorite athlete of the game, competitor from both schools. This award is proudly being sponsored by Intense Milk, Dave & Buster's, Anthony Baldy and Associates, and Cross Training Athletics. Today's award is going to the athletes best demonstrate positive character and qualities of speech, conduct, love, faith, and integrity of the game. The award will be presented at the conclusion of the game.
Mike asked you to say that this is the gold championship, not a consolation.
For Lancers in their road, white jerseys with green letters and numbers.
I'm just doing it.
White pants and white helmets with some green
Yes.
on the side. I'm treating Dunkirk against green.
I'd like to make corrections.
So here we have the coin toss.
Championship game.
Captains today are Devin Land. We have Peyton Ahlstrom, Ryan Maltalban, and Adrian Washington.
The Lancers will receive the kickoff to the southeast end of the field as we get ready to kick off this contest.
One of the wingbacks, number 3, Corey Stack. The receivers, number 88, John Wendt, and number 18, Alex Mills. On the offensive line, at left tackle, number 50, Evan Masajewski. Number 66, at left guard, Dylan Warwick. The center, number 58, Trevor Thompson. At right tackle, 79, Jared Rebon. And at right guard, that's we're trying to figure out who that's going to be because the regular starter is out with an injury. And a look at the Dunkirk defense, their front four features number 30, Christian Ortiz, number 52, Adrian Washington, number 75, Joel Burgos, and number 32, Juan Rosado. Linebackers, number 3, Jay Sean Hauser, number 11, Mateo Jansberg, number 24, Chant Texador, and at number 7, Mark Miller. And in the secondary, the cornerbacks, number 6, Peter Paredes, and number 28, Peyton Ahlstrom, and at safety, number 12, Brian Miles.
I think I'll sit home.
Manuel Barreto will tee it up for the Dunkirk Marauders at the 40-yard line. He'll be kicking off towards the north end zone, facing 6th Street here in the city of Dunkirk, and 2 men back deep for the Newport Lancers. Very thin.
So the teams will line up for kickoff here. We have Lewiston defending on the left side of your screen as the Marauders prepare to kick it off. Barreto will be the kicker.
Teams are set. Here we go. Barreto approaches.
And it's a line drive down the right side, bobbled at the 20. He's going to run it down towards center, stumbling, coming up, and brought down around the 25-yard line.
Number 32, Frank Previte picks the ball up.
Frank Previte is the ball carrier.
The 27-yard line of the Lancers, and they'll start there on offense.
So Lewiston will start with it at their own 27-yard line.
Yeah, and
All right, let's see, first and 10.
most of the seniors Dunkirk is losing. There are a few of them are on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep.
You got Adrian
We got
Washington and
Wainwright.
Mark Millman probably being the top 2 guys that they're losing. This is their last game, so I would expect maybe an early show from them as we get a whistle before we even get started here.
That's pretty breezy.
We have a whistle already before the first play from scrimmage.
But yeah, definitely, and not to mention some of the players that were lost earlier in the season.
It looks like he was
Earl
counting
Stewart.
players.
Yes.
One of those players who's not going to be here next year.
And Devin Land as well. There's a few guys that they're
Hey,
losing.
tell him to turn around.
Most of the offense is going to be returned. It's the defense that's going to have to fill in some holes. That's good.
Lancers with the first down and 10.
So here we are, the Lancers for the first down, first play from scrimmage.
Receiver set, 2 right, 1 left. Snap.
Quarterback dropping back. It's a short pass, and it is caught around the 23-yard line, and the ball is loose. The Marauders signaling that they have it,
Looks like he was down.
and they do. This one is going to the Marauders.
It over.
a turnover on the first play from scrimmage, and the Marauders will take over at the Lancers' 32-yard line. A fantastic opportunity for an offense that has been struggling with injuries.
He ends up losing the ball, and Dunkirk recovers. They take over
Yeah,
at
see
the
that.
32-yard line.
From my perspective,
So Alex Ahlstrom will join the huddle with the play, and the Marauders will take the line of scrimmage for their first offensive series of this game. And it's going to be a run down the middle. They'll pick up a couple. It looks like they get just inside the 30, maybe to the 28-yard line, I'm going to say.
Right up the middle, he gets down to the 30 for a 2-yard gain. Be second down and 8 for the Marauders.
Ball to the fullback, Enwell Barreto, and he takes it down to the Newport 29-yard line.
It looks like they're going to mark them in between the 29 and the 30.
Alex Ahlstrom, who is starting in place of the injured Phil Messina. Running backs are Christian Ortiz and Enwell Barreto. Receivers Jose Camacho and Peyton Ahlstrom, and tight end Nick Sator.
So another bunch set here.
Second down, the handout goes to Ortiz, right side.
And breaking loose down to about the 15, maybe even the 14. Looks like it's going to be at the 15, enough for a first down for the Marauders as they are already into the red zone.
Drive, a first down after a gain of 14.
Yeah, I expect a healthy dose of Chris Ortiz, as we talked about in the pregame. Something interesting is these are good minutes for Ahlstrom, but probably not for next year. Phil Messina's only a junior, so you would expect him to come back and be the starter. But going into senior year, Ahlstrom's only a sophomore.
It'll be another run down the middle, creating space inside the 10, the 5, and down around the 3 or 4 yard line.
Way inside the 5-yard line before.
That is going to be another first down. It'll be first and goal for the Marauders as they look to run the ball early here. That's going to be very helpful for them because this Lewiston-Porter roster is much thinner than the Marauders. They're going to get tired a lot faster than Dunkirk will, and if they can continue to find success in the run game, it'll serve them very well as this game goes on.
Looks like they have a nose now.
Take a look at the rest of their offense momentarily. Conventional I formation. Ahlstrom under center. Barreto shifts to his right.
Ahlstrom under center.
Play action. Ahlstrom.
And it is a keep. Ahlstrom.
Flips over.
Big hit.
And is he in? No.
And just short of the end zone. That's a gutsy call. They've had some injuries at the quarterback position. Sending the quarterback on a run like that early in the game.
So yeah, he is just about a half a yard short.
But it's going to bring them inside of the 1 yard line. They have a fantastic opportunity to capitalize and score the first touchdown in the game here. Ahlstrom will head back into the huddle with the play.
Newport turning the ball over on the game's first play, and Dunkirk operating from the Newport 32. This will be the 5th play of this drive since taking over at that point. 9:23 to go in the first quarter of play. Power eye set for the
So this is second and really inches.
right to left, handoff, Ortiz
And
leans forward, and
it's going to be close.
no signal yet. No, it does not quite
No
happen.
signal, and it looks like he's just a hair shy of the end zone.
1 foot line.
That's going to bring up 3rd and inches for the Marauders.
Offense will be 3rd down and goal inside the 1.
Just
From our perspective,
inches away from the end zone.
The tip of the ball is pretty much lined up on the goal line. So if he didn't get in there, he was really, really close. I thought he broke the play too, but our angle up here is a little bit obscure.
Be 3rd down and goal to go for the Marauders. Conventional line set this time. Ortiz, the tailback. Barreto, the fullback.
Let's see, a little bit of motion, and it's going to be a keeper. And in for the touchdown is Alex Ahlstrom. 6-0 Marauders early as the Marauders appear unstoppable on this first drive. And it all started with a great defensive turnover on the first play from scrimmage for the Lancers. A catch, fumble, and recovered by the Marauders around the 32-yard line, and just a few plays later, they'll run it in for a touchdown. 8:31 left in the first quarter. It's 6-0 Marauders as they line up for 2.
Will try for 2. They have 90% of the time attempted 2s this season.
And it's going to be close, but it is no good. They were a bit short. So it will stay 6-0.
6 and the last 0.
A very successful drive for the Marauders to open this one.
Dunkirk 6.
It's push-up time.
Back in 1 minute here on WDOE.
Are you ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's hear for those cheerleaders.
If you look over to the far sideline, you can see a few pairs of legs. And I'll be honest, the Lew-Port bench really isn't a whole lot deeper than that. They really don't have a lot of players. If they continue to struggle against the run, it could be a very productive night for the Marauders here. So out to kick off for the second time tonight is Barreto.
.31 to go in the first quarter of play at Carl Hefner Field, and it is a 6-0 lead for the Dunkirk Marauders. 5 plays after Lew-Port turned it over on the game's first play. And well, Barreto with a slow.
So Barreto now, he's going to try them on the right side. It is out of bounds around the 31-yard line.
So Lew-Port will be taking over with some better starting field position on their second possession.
I think that's the position where the Marauders suffered
Looks like
injury.
they're gonna
If
take
I'm not
the ball.
mistaken, I think Earl Stewart was the kicker to begin the season as well. So I had to try to fill that in by committee too.
So it looks like Lew-Port will start from the 31-yard line.
Committing a turnover on their first offensive play. First down and 10 for the
Kickoff goes out of bounds, and Lew-Port elects to take it on the 35. Will they begin on offense?
Reminder over on our
we got wing right.
Kicks Country 96.5 and 100.3 FM. We've got
They've now moved up. They're at the 35-yard line. As Lew-Port will look to ensure that this drive is more successful for them than their previous one. The Marauders will continue some great defense. Here's a run. He is stuffed. Only a pickup of about 2 yards.
Picks up 2. He's met by a host of Marauders on that play. He stopped after a 2-yard gain. It'll be second down and 8.
For the Lancers, he picks up 2 on his first touch.
Yeah, and he's got a match up the middle with Adrian Washington, who is concluding his Dunkirk football career tonight. Phenomenal player for them. A guy
Wing
who plays
left.
up the middle. So,
Over
like I
left.
said earlier, a few standout defensive players on this Marauder team wearing the maroon for the last time.
Second down and 10. Snap.
And they'll run it out to the left side, heading up to the 50 and out of bounds in Dunkirk territory around the 45-yard line. That'll be a first down for Lew-Port.
Down to the Marauder 44. He'll pick up the Lancer first down.
That carry and moves the chains for Lew-Port's first down.
And Lew-Port can breathe a breath of relief as they are in Dunkirk territory for the first time this game. The Marauders, though, have a 6-0 lead with 7:48 to go in the first.
First down and 10 at the Dunkirk 44-yard line. Ball on the far half. 7:48 to go in the first quarter of play.
Receivers set out on either side.
Stewart in the center. 3 backs in the backfield. Snap. Big toss.
Quarterback dropping back, looking deep, and it is incomplete.
Is incomplete. Pass
Broken up around the 25-yard line.
lands on that near side, and he could not hang on to the football.
Second and
Thrown down the field, incomplete.
It is
Yes.
Good coverage there by the Marauders secondary.
Brian Matalbin and Pete Paredes combining to break up that one.
If the quarterback Stewart is able to hit his guy in stride a little bit more, that's probably
Wing left.
in the end zone for 6. It was just a little bit underthrown. And,
So we'll have second down for the Lew-Port Lancers. Here's a run going down to the left side. He's got a first down and more as he's out of bounds, maybe just inside the 30, looking around the 29-yard line.
Montana Rosa gets inside the 32 to 28. And he'll get another first down for the Lancers.
Well, the thing is, they're running it outside to the left, which is away from Adrian Washington and away from Mark Milner. So that's big too, because those are probably 2 Dunkirk's better defenders. So they're kind of trying to avoid, seemingly trying to avoid those two standouts.
From the 29-yard line, first down and 10. Backs in an offset eye set. Stewart under center. Hands back up the middle.
And it's down the middle.
Good yardage there for the senior.
It's going to be close. Looks like it might
9 and
not quite enough for a first down.
I don't know. I was watching Juan Mateo.
Fontana Rosa right up
They're
the
going to put the
middle.
put the ball down right on the 20-yard line.
Record of 3 and 5, but right now Fontana
Less than a yard shy of a first down.
second possession for Newport. Second down and 1 from the 20-yard line of Dunkirk. 6:40
Second is 1 as Lewiston-Porter continues to march down the field on the Marauders here.
High formation, 3 receivers, 2 right, 1 left. Stewart under center, snap, fakes the toss, now gives it on.
There's the fake, handoff. He's got a first, running down,
What was there?
Far side,
and he is brought out of bounds around the 5-yard line.
Ball carry.
It's going to be first and goal for Newport around the Dunkirk 5-yard line. They are now well into the red zone, first and goal. We'll see if the Marauders can hold them. They're running out of field quickly.
Of the offset eye, they gave it to Stack, who was
Wing
lined
right.
up kind of
Over
adjacent
right.
to the quarterback Stewart, and he was just able to find a bit of a seam through the Dunkirk line. And get a pretty
There's another handoff down the middle. Hauled down, and it looks like he might be in. He is in. Touchdown, Newport. We have ourselves a tie game
The Lancer touchdown.
with the opportunity for the Lancers to take the lead.
And that's one thing that concerned
He
me
was.
coming into this.
And the
was
guard
Dunkirk's
just
ability to
shielded
stop
him.
the run. Dalton Gardner for Fredonia might have
Yes, he
exposed
turned him
something in
off.
their defense that just
Or Adrian looked like Adrian
and,
was just
Richards might
going
have been able
like
to
forward
notice
at
that
the
and
ball.
say, hey, we can run
He took
on this
himself
team.
out of the play.
That drive might have proven it.
Yeah, he wasn't reading.
Newport will attempt an extra point here.
So Newport to attempt the kick.
Their kicker
If it's
is
good, they'll have a 1-point lead.
Kravitz. Snap, good hold, kick is up, and the kick is no
It's
good.
up.
Flag
No good. There was a flag on the play.
Flag on the field.
here. Our first penalty, it's a false start.
And a false start called against the Lancers.
PAT here about to do it from the 15-yard line instead of the 10.
So that will back them up 5 yards now.
6:21 to go in the first quarter of play, and they will line up for a longer extra point try.
And you wonder how that affects the kicker, because that kick was barely long enough. He'll need to put a bit more heat on it if he's going to clear it from this distance. It's up. Snap is not great, and it is no good. So, game is tied 6 apiece with 6:21 to go in the first quarter. Kickoff coming up next.
No good. And the score, the Marauders 6 and the Lancers 6.
About 3 weeks before we have basketball. A game with me? Probably about right around Thanksgiving.
So the Lancers will set up to kick. We have Mark Milliman and Chris Torres deep to receive for the Marauders.
That's one thing. Back and forth. Neither defense can stop. Whoa. Yeah, it's been nice to pay a traffic. Didn't happen when
Coach, they're offsides. Their foot's on the line.
So Frank Privet to kick off. And it is a deep one here. It's going to be fielded at the 17. Heading downfield, he is brought down around the 35. Momentum might have carried him to the 36.
Football is fielded by Kauser. He
And
takes it
Jason
up
Kauser
of the Marauders.
skied up to grab that one.
Right there on offense.
And the Marauders will start at their own 36-yard line.
To go in the first quarter of play at Carl Hepner Field in a tie ball game, 6-6 on the Putnam Record Insurance Agency scoreboard.
Yeah, this might be like the Iroquois game Dunkirk played a couple of weeks ago. It might be in for a
We'll say
shootout
a
here.
50.
We'll see if either one of these teams can stop the other's running back. That's pretty much what this is going to come down to.
High formation.
A run down the middle, that's going nowhere.
Newport ready for him as he might have gotten a yard on the play. It'll be second down and 9 after the short gain for the junior running back Christian Ortiz.
Looks like enough to pick up about half a yard. That's going to put them at the 36.
It'll be second down for the Marauders.
Turnover, of course.
Chris Ortiz on the carry.
Second down and 9 on the way.
Oh, we got a flag.
We have a flag down thrown on the far side of the field.
And we have a flag thrown on the Lewiston side of the field near the bench.
See what that's a sideline warning against Newport. Looks like Matt Bradshaw might have gotten out onto the field there.
And it looks like it'll just be a warning to the Newport sideline. So the Marauders will start. Second down from the 36-yard line.
High formation. Alstrom under center. Snap. Play action. Rolling.
And Alstrom heading outside, running out of space. They'll throw it. Takes a big hit, and it's incomplete.
Pass rush there.
Pass is incomplete.
Newport line to play
Third down.
Big hit delivered there. John Went lowering the boom on the Dunkirk quarterback.
Got his hand on the throw. It'll be 3rd and 9.
I think he had a guy there too on the sideline. I couldn't quite tell who it was, but there was a receiver in the area. And if that throw's not interrupted, that might be a completed pass. Now, the interesting thing is, I don't know how good Dunkirk's passing attack is going to be
I'll have
today,
to ask
and
him
I don't
later.
know how much they're going to let Alstrom actually throw. They might be a little hesitant to want to do that, especially when you have Ortiz back there. So we'll see how many times Dunkirk actually has to throw the ball.
All right, we're back in the 50.
Phil Messina threw 2 touchdown passes last week to Peyton Alstrom. And of course, no Messina today because of injury. On 3rd down, here's a run.
And here's a run to the left. Brought down, it is Camacho around the 38-yard line.
He's brought down
Yard line is
about the
made
38-yard line.
Brevet, number 32. So
Make that to 39. Pick up a 3.
3 and out.
A short pickup. That's going to bring up 4th down for the Marauders from the 39-yard line.
Because I didn't even know where the ball was going, and if he can turn that edge, there's one guy there that tripped him up. There was another defender kind of coming in to try to take him out too. But if he can get past that first guy and turn that edge, he might be able to pick
And
him up.
Barreto lining up to punt it.
Newport defense to make that tackle and just trip him up.
Enwell Barreto standing back at his 26-yard line to kick it away.
Good snap.
Kick is away.
And it'll go down to the 30-yard line.
By Wentz.
Breaking tackles. It is Went now hopping up and finally brought down around the 38-yard line.
He takes it out to the 40. He brought down by a host of Marauders on that play. Lancers will start on
I'm going to give the Lancers the 40-yard line. Momentum might have carried them. That's a little farther than it looked to me. But the refs are on the field. The Lancers will have the ball at the 40-yard line.
Alstrom on a quarterback sneak for Dunkirk and for Newport, Gino Fontana Rosa with a 6-yard run for the score. Lancers at their own 40-yard line, moving from left to right. Fontana Rosa and deep back in the formation on 1st down. Here's a handout to Fontana Rosa up the middle.
And up the middle is the run.
Up to the
Brought down around the 46, maybe the 47.
Rosa picks up about 6 on that play. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
close to 7.
It is Gino Fontarosa, the ball carrier. They're going to mark him at the 47-yard line of Newport. It's going to be 2nd and 3 now.
Newport, a team also that's showing resilience this season like Dunkirk.
Right.
Last week against Depew, the Lancers were down by 8 points in the 4th quarter and scored 2 touchdowns in the 4th to win 27-23. On 2nd down.
Here's a pitch to the right side, bottled up and stopped for a loss of about 2. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 at the 45-yard line of Newport. Mark Milliman with the tackle for the Marauders.
It'll be 3rd down and 5.
So you needed to kind of get that stop, and more importantly, they needed to
And outside of the fumble recovery on the first play of the game, that's probably the best defensive play that we've seen from the Marauders so far. A tackle for a loss on a big down. It turns 2nd and short into 3rd and 5.
5-yard line. As the Lancers go out of the shotgun formation, John Paul Stewart waiting for the snap. He's got back, playing to his left.
So they'll fake the handoff now. To throw, looking short. It is incomplete.
By Wentz. Had him
Intended for Wentz.
Incomplete.
And that was really just outstanding coverage by Peter Paredes there. He was all over Went.
Wentz covered on that play by number 6, Peter Paredes.
nice answer because Newport just had a nice stop on them, so they needed to force this punt here and kind of keep this game, status quo.
So the defense needed to stop, and they got one.
first punt of the night here.
After the Marauders give up a 3 and out, they punt the ball away, and the defense forces an immediate 3 and out from the Lancers. Out to kick now. The snap is off a little bit, but they'll get the punt off. It is out of bounds around the 31-yard line. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 30.
As they mark it out of bounds. Let's see.
That punt goes out of bounds at about
Still moving, and they're going to call it
35-yard line.
Oh, they're going to move it up now, so they're going to actually spot it at the 35-yard line.
Still at 30, yeah, because he didn't.
6-6 ball game on the punt return.
Well, the Marauders offense can really thank their defense because it's not too often that you can turn the ball over and end up with it in the same field position where you left off.
First and 10, 35-yard line. Dunkirk going with a power set. 3 backs in the backfield. Power eye.
Looks like a run down the middle. They'll get some space. A hurdle there brought down around the 42, maybe the 43 of the Marauders.
He's going to pick up about 9. Make that
And
8.
Chris Ortiz is going to get 8 yards, bring up 2nd and 2. And what a game he's having already.
43-yard line of the Marauders. Dunkirk operating with a little bit more tempo here than we've seen in previous weeks during the regular season.
So they'll line up another.
All right, set again. Alston's quarterback sneak.
And moving down the middle, it's going to be enough for a first down.
He'll get it out to about
The QB sneak will get them up to the 48-yard line.
48-yard line,
And that's going to be a first down for the Marauders, 2 yards shy of the 50-yard line. 2:15 and counting remaining here in the opening quarter.
Coming about 2 minutes to go in the first quarter of play as
Can the Marauders get a snap?
grab the lead back. Power eye set. One tight end on the left
Another
side.
power set. Seems to be working pretty well for the Marauders. Here's a handoff for Ortiz again, and he is dragging half the team with him. He's brought down at the 48. Looks like he got up to the 47, though, and that's where they're going to mark him.
Ortiz powers down to about the 48-yard line.
One thing I'll say about the QB quick hitter is you might not
Picking
want
up 5 yards on that play. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Marauders.
So that'll bring 2nd and 5
So I don't know how.
over the 50-yard line. The Marauders now at the Lewiston-Porter 47.
Track one down.
Yes. See if Lee's are
Second
there.
down and 5 coming up at the Lewiston-Porter 47-yard line. Power eye set.
One.
Another power set that seems to be moving them down the field. They're getting a few yards at a time, but they're moving the change that way. Ortiz again, and he's going to be a little short of the first down, but looks like he's inside the 45. I think he's down around the 44, it looks like, and that's where they're going to mark him. No, they're going to mark him closer to the 45. That's going to bring up third and
He's injured, yes.
third and
He should be back for
2, third and 3.
That's something we'll be looking forward to, obviously, in December. And Stewart, obviously, carrying a one-win team last year. So just, we saw he could ball.
Yeah, well, he's going to have some help this year because I think he's going to have Chris Ortiz on his team as well. So
On third down.
Here's a handoff to Ortiz running angrily, and he's inside the 40. It's to the 39-yard line.
39. And that's a Marauder first down.
That's enough for the Marauder first down. It's going to move the chains.
you would hope he has Chris Ortiz.
And 18 seconds left in the first quarter. The clock will continue to run. We'll see if the Marauders get another playoff in the first quarter.
From last year's one-win team.
Well, it's, hard to get worse than that, I guess.
They'll jog up to the line. Only a few seconds left. I don't think they're going to get it off here.
First quarter of play.
And they will not. So that will do it for the first quarter. It is 6-6. We have a tie here in Dunkirk, New York.
The Marauders 6 and the Lancers 6. I want to remind everyone that the concession stand is open if you need something to drink to warm you up. Or if you need a snack, the concession stand is open. Oh, you buying? Should I announce that? Evan Gomez is buying coffee. Free round for everybody.
I'm pretty sure that one is outside, one is inside. the guy up to the tight end.
Go, ladies! Woo!
Let's see. Yes.
So here we are to start the second quarter. The Marauders at the Lewiston-Porter 39-yard line.
Here at Carl Hefner Field, ball at the 39-yard line.
It'll be a power run for Ortiz.
Running room, and he gets tripped up,
And he is brought down inside the 30. It looks like he has enough for a first down, and he does. They're going to mark him around the 28-yard line.
And that's a Marauder first down.
Like I said,
And he's having quite a night, and I expect it to continue. At 6'3", 200 pounds, he is a monster for them to bring down. And Lewiston really doesn't have a lot of replacements on their bench, so this defense is going to have to deal with that monster running down the middle all night long. So here we have a first down, and it's a run and going all the way, touchdown Dunkirk! All the way. Well, they keyed right in on Ortiz, but they didn't notice.
And a Marauder touchdown.
And Dunkirk leads 12-6.
yeah, you don't expect a fullback to give any carries when Christian Ortiz is pretty much a fullback himself, but that was a nice mix-up. That was the right time for it, clearly.
That touchdown was made by Juan Rosado.
Great call, Rosado made no mistake.
The Marauders 40 seconds into the second
Not when it's
quarter,
right in front of me. I can't.
take the lead 12-6
Yeah.
as they line up.
Yeah, he's in the.
So with all the work going to Ortiz, that opened things up. And now running down the middle, they'll go back to Ortiz. He'll pick up the two-point conversion after his teammate Juan Rosado, the fullback, picked up the touchdown. That's going to make it 14-6 Dunkirk as this run game continues to pound Lewiston.
The other one is in the B gap.
It's push-up time.
Well, most teams would really struggle with injuries to first and second string quarterbacks, but when you have such an incredibly effective run game, as the Marauders have demonstrated today, it makes life a lot easier for Alex Ahlstrom.
11, 12, 13, 14. All right, let's hear it for those cheerleaders.
Oh, we got a loud crowd tonight. Woo! I thought I was done.
So good work by Barreto there, counting up his teammates. Noticed they were a man short and quickly waved for the 11th man to come onto the field. Here's the kick by Barreto. It's a line drive, and it is fumbled, recovered at the 36-yard line by Lewiston. And Barreto is giving them all the trouble in the world on special teams. They are having just a world of trouble trying to catch his slippery kicks.
And Lewiston will take over right there.
On the opening kickoff, it was bobbled, and now on this one, it was straight up fumbled. Recovered at the 36, but Barreto could be a secret weapon for the Marauders in this game if they need him. Here's a handoff to the right side, and brought down for maybe a gain of 1, maybe 2.
That's a strong tackle right there.
Fontana Rosa tackled on that play after a
Gino Fontana Rosa gets them up to the 38-yard line. A 2-yard pickup for Lewiston.
And number 75, Joel Burrows.
7 yards to go, ball at the 38-yard line. Oh, second and 8.
All right, wing right.
High formation.
Our wing left.
John Paul Stewart under center. Three receivers, two left, one right.
It'll be a run down the middle and stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Who made that hit?
And he's fortunate to get back to the line of scrimmage there, but
And what a hit that was. Looked like Joel Burgos on the tackle there.
75 was the first man there.
Lance runners met immediately by number 75, Joel Burgos. Picks up one.
Well, if you were wondering why Lew-Port hasn't been running up the middle much, that's it, the reason right there. Joel Burgos hit him like a Mack truck. And they'll be stopped for a loss of about a foot on that play.
Trips right. We got it.
On third down and 8, shotgun formation for Stewart. Two receivers to the near side, snap. Stewart to throw.
And Stewart looking on the near side, looking deep, and it's too far, incomplete. Looking for Corey Stack around the 40-yard line, but he overthrew his man.
Too long, and
that's going to bring up fourth down for the Lancers.
And that was another one he probably had the receiver. It's a tough throw. It's a back shoulder throw. But it's tough going to that sideline, but that was with a better throw. That was an easy catch. There was two Marauders defenders in the area, but they had enough space away from him where Stack probably could have made
So here's the punt, and it's a good one. It'll be fielded around the 31-yard line, breaking a tackle now, and brought down around the 39-yard line.
Chris Torres feels that punt. He takes it out to about the 40-yard line.
And they're going to mark them at the 40.
Again on offense at the 40.
Let's take a look at the rest of this Dunkirk offense. We didn't get a chance to do so in the first quarter, but on their offensive line, we have Mike Porpelia at left tackle, number 55. The left guard, number 56, Devin Land. The center, number 62, Ashton Freitas. Right guard, number 75, Joel Burgos. And at right tackle, number 50, Jimmy Bautista. First down and 10. Dunkirk starting this drive at his own.
So here's first and 10 for the Marauders at the 10-yard line. Here's a handoff, and it's going for distance. Brought down around the Lew-Port 48. That'll be enough for a Dunkirk first down. And that is going to be Jose Camacho.
48, just outside the 48-yard line, will be second down and 2 for the Marauders.
Second and about 1.5 yards to go.
That must have been where he stepped out. He definitely got further than that, but
And it looks like the referee saw him step out a few yards shorter than that. So it's going to bring up now second and about 2 from just shy of the Marauders' 49-yard line. Here's the snap. It is fumbled.
Ball comes out, and let's see who fell on it.
And let's see who has it. And it looks like they're giving it to Lew-Port. Lew-Port manages to come up with it. An intended run play ends up a fumble in the backfield, and Lew-Port jumps on it.
And Lew-Port takes over at the Dunkirk 46-yard line. 8:40 to go before halftime. And now the Lancers with some excellent start.
So the Lancers will get to take over field position already over the 50-yard line. That's going to be helpful for an offense that has been slowed down on their last couple drives here.
ball just bounced around and Lew-Port was able to jump on it. You're right, they're already in Dunkirk territory here. This is excellent field position.
So fake the handoff. Here's a deep shot. Looking downfield. It is grabbed. Izzy in bounds. He is unable to stay in bounds. So Wentz, the receiver for Lew-Port, at least able to get warmed up there. He comes down with the ball, but he's unable to stay in bounds. So it's an incomplete pass. It's going to bring up second and 10 for the Lancers.
Thrown already here, so that's something the Marauders are going to have to watch too. They've covered them well so far, but it might only be a matter of time.
Second down and 10 from the 46 of Dunkirk.
Here's a run down to the left side, cutting back inside of the middle, and brought down around the 39-yard line, maybe the 38. It is Gino Fontana-Rosa again. And he's going to be marked at the 38-yard line, a couple yards shy of a first down. It's going to be 3rd and 2 now for the Lancers.
I was going to say the same thing. A little bit of Le'Veon there. Definitely took his time. He found the hole. It's a good quality in a running back. You want someone who can do that. It's a big third down right here.
3rd and 2, 38-yard line. Snap. Stewart.
So here's the handoff, bottled up in the backfield and brought down for a big loss.
Mateo Janslick hits the
And that is Mateo Janslick with the tackle for a loss. That tackle is going to take about 5 yards away from them. And all of a sudden, 3rd and short turns into 4th and long.
Yard line, but for a pretty significant loss on the play, they're going to.
So now some decisions to make. There's 7.5 to go in the half.
So well that I thought he was just trying to shut a block. But
We'll see
tackling the ball
if they decide to go for it or if they're going to punt.
and awareness that he was able to just read that play immediately and make that tackle.
And so far,
41-yard line, and Newport will go for
they're going to go for it on 4th down here.
36 to Dunkirk.
They're not too far away from the 50.
Stewart out
This is a big down for Newport.
gives it Fontana Rosa.
Here's the handoff, and Fontana Rosa could be gone.
Cuts it back.
He is finally brought down inside of the 25-yard line. Looks like he's down around the 23, maybe the 24.
With Gino Fontana Rosa.
Fontana Rosa goes to the right side. He'll get down inside the 25.
Well, as good as Chris Ortiz and Juan Rosado have been for the Marauders tonight, Gino Fontana Rosa has been their equal on the opposite side of the football.
It's kind of gashed them the last couple of weeks.
And give credit to this Lewiston offense. They are taking whatever the Marauders are giving them. They know they're playing a bit short-handed here. They don't have the numbers that the Marauders do, but they're looking for holes anywhere they can get them. Here's Fontana Rosa again, and he's going to be brought down inside the 20. Looks like he's down around the 17 or 18-yard line.
Fontana Rosa gets to about the 17 before he meets the Marauder tackler, bringing him down. After a 5-yard gain, it'll be 2nd down and 5.
And let's give credit to the offensive line of Newport as well, because they are dealing with some absolute monsters on the line of scrimmage from the Marauders. The Marauders have some big guys up front, and they're doing a great job clearing the way for Fontana Rosa as he'll run it again. This time he looks to be just inside of the 15-yard line. It looks like he might be just a bit shy of the 1st down, though. So it's going to bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he'd definitely be the focal point. And of course, maybe that opens up things for some Nick Whitfield action too, whether he be running or passing.
On 3rd down and 2. Snap toss.
Here's the pitch in the backfield, brought down, and that is a great tackle made by Jancic, his 2nd tackle for loss today, and what an asset he has been for the Marauders. When they have needed a big stop on 3rd and short, he has come up huge for the Marauders. He read that play perfectly. It was a run to the right. Jancic came right out, found his man, and dragged him down. A solid 5, maybe even 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Outstanding defensive play by the Marauders. Now here's going to be a QB keep. No, Stewart looking around. Now he's going to throw, and it is right through the hands of his receiver at the 5-yard line. Looking for Stack, unable to come up with it.
And Dunkirk's defense does come up with the stop. They'll take over at their own 21-yard line.
That was 4th down.
It'll be 1st and 10.
So the Marauders will take over now.
And I'm going to be sad to never watch Mark Miller play football again. Because that guy is just in the backfield trying to hit the quarterback every single play. He ran all the way from the other side of the field as the quarterback's rolling left. Milton is chasing him down faster than anyone else. And if the quarterback, Stewart, doesn't throw the ball right when
The Lancers failed to pick up that 1st down, and the Marauders take over on offense.
they're ready to level him. And that's a quality that Marauders might miss next year is his pass rushing ability.
1st and 10, 21-yard line. Dunkirk moving from left to right. Snap to Alstrom.
Here comes Dunkirk. Gets a run for Alstrom. Alstrom was almost gone.
Carry there across the 30.
And well, Barreto.
Oh, sorry, that is Barreto.
Side of that line, he'll get out to about
He was
39.
caught in the secondary and brought down at the Marauders' 39-yard line. A big pickup for Dunkirk there.
Dunkirk at the 38.
Run game once again from Marauders.
Barreto has done a lot with the Marauders with his feet, whether it's kicks that are difficult to return or that run right there. Barreto has been quite the asset for Dunkirk tonight.
Obviously, it's been a
Yes.
From the 39-yard line. Backs in an offset eye in this 1st down play. Snap, give to the tailback.
And here's a run now. It's going up to the 50 and swarmed inside of the 45-yard line. Chris Ortiz.
Right up the middle.
brought down around the 44-yard line, a huge pickup, and that's what happens. That's what happens when you have teammates like Barreto, like Rosado, guys who can take the pressure off. That lets Ortiz stay healthy and keep his stamina so that when he wants to punish these Lancers, he's able to do so with major runs like that.
Dunkirk leading Lewiston-Porter 14-6 on the Putnam Record Insurance Agency scoreboard back in 1 minute.
This Lewiston-Porter defense already starting to get tired, and we still have 4 minutes to go in the half. Dunkirk continues to pound the rock down their throats. And with only a few players on their bench to sub in and out, it's going to be a long night for this Lewiston-Porter defense.
Only have 2 pitchers that have gotten in this fight. Every time they pitch somebody else, they get killed. These 2 guys,
Who they pitching tonight?
they can't pitch Scherzer because he's already gone. And they pitched Strasburg last night. And the night before last. The only problem is Houston has more pitching than you.
Yeah. Where the hell are the bats?
But I tell you what, they both can hit.
No, it looks like he's shaded.
So the Marauders now 1st and 10, just outside of the 44-yard line.
First down and 10. And quick
It'll be a give down the middle, brought down at the 36-yard line, and that is going to be Barreto with the inside handoff. That's going to bring up 2nd and about 3 for the Marauders.
And Dunkirk with their quick hitting attack is able to pick up some good yardage there on first down.
The running attack continues. It's still a nice mix-up of committee here. It's not just the Chris Ortiz show. It's a few different guys.
Power eye set on 2nd down and 3. Ahlstrom under center. Snap. He'll give it.
Ahlstrom will hand off. Looks like it's Ortiz, and he's going to be brought down at the 34-yard line. He's going to be close to a first. Does he have it? Looks like they're going to mark him just a hair short of that first down.
You got official timeout.
And it'll be a timeout here. The officials will call for the chains to measure it. It is very, very close.
The 34-yard line. The nose of the football is about a foot short of that, and we'll get confirmation from the chain gang here, and they're going to give him, I think, the first down.
And
Very close. Now they're giving him the
And it's going to be a first down for the Marauders at the 34-yard line of Lewiston-Porter. The Marauders have a 14-6 lead. They have the football, and there's 3:09 to go in the first half.
It's a good run once again by Chris Ortiz. Just keep the first down, keep the drive going. And honestly, the way this is going, they might just cruise into halftime here. They can score, knock a couple more minutes off the clock here. They'll waltz into halftime with a 20-6 lead and the ball at the half.
Of course, Lewiston opted to receive the opening kickoff, so we'll get the ball first in the second half. Power eye formation, Ahlstrom under.
We have power eye formation. It's a handoff to Ortiz. He's breaking loose, and adios. See you later, Chris Ortiz. Touchdown. Dunkirk Marauders. Ortiz will burn them yet again.
A 35-yard run.
That'll bring up 20-6 now with 2:40 to go in the first half.
They did get the score on there, as we'll see the 2-point conversion here. They'll be successful on that. But this Marauder running attack is very, very good, and they're showing it here in their last game.
15th touchdown of the year for Christian Ortiz, and now the try for 2 upcoming.
They'll look for 2 here.
Ahlstrom bobbles it, picks it up. He's going to run to it.
And Ahlstrom looking, takes the hit. He's in for 2. Spins around, and it was Wentz looking for the tackle. He got it, but some great agility by Ahlstrom to power his way through. When he's not playing quarterback, he is a tight end, and he showed off those skills as well. That'll make it 22-6. The Marauders have the lead with 2:40 to go in the first half. And how about this run attack from Dunkirk? they have been outstanding. Chris Ortiz has been virtually unstoppable. But you can't forget about Juan Rosado. Barreto has gotten involved as well. And even Alstrom has taken some carries.
21, 22. Let's hear it for those cheerleaders.
Score about 40 more. Push ups all night. Yep, push ups all night long. Let me rip that other guy. So we're gonna make them ripped. Get those arms in shape.
So Barreto checking his men. Last time he had a kickoff, they were almost a man short. So he wants to make sure everybody's all in line. And here's the kick from Barreto. It's a line drive again, testing that right side. They'll wait for it instead of bobbling it. It's picked up at the 20, running to center, and stays on his feet, brought down now at the 24-yard line.
Number 3 Spat takes it out.
And that's the effect that Barreto has had on this game. They've struggled so much to field his kicks that they let it pass by about 3 different players on Lewiston-Porter until it slowed down and they were comfortable enough to pick it up at the 20 and only got 4 yards from that. They could have fielded that from the 30, maybe even the 35. But instead, they'll play it safe, pick it up at the 20, and now start at the 24. 1st and 10 with 2:32 to go.
Memorial Bowl championship for Class B. Lewiston-Porter with a 1st and 10 at its own 24-yard line. John Paul Stewart under center.
Here's Stewart brought down.
Ball carrier is swallowed up.
Swallowed up, and it looks like Burgos getting in on that tackle.
Met on that play by number 75, Joel Burgos.
And he's had a good night. They haven't run up on him too much this game, but he has that tackle for a loss, and of course that monster hit earlier in the game as well.
I want to say Joe Beatty, number 40, was the ball carrier. That's what
5'11", 277. He's not someone you want to run into at all. Here's a run up the middle now, looking to the outside, breaks a tackle, breaking some ankles, and brought down at the 33-yard line. And Gino Fontarosa
Really nice game up to about the 34-yard line.
is... It's going to be close to a first down, and they're going to give it to him. It'll be a first down for Lewiston-Porter. 1:20 to go. The clock continues to run. And
ball at the 34-yard line, 109 and counting before halftime.
107, 106, 105.
2-6
Lewiston-Porter needs to be very quick here. They might run out of time
here in the second.
in the second half. In the second quarter, sorry.
From the officials. Not quite sure what this delay is all about. But
All right. 1:30 on the clock, sir.
they're resetting the clock here, so
So they're going to reset the clock now from 38 seconds. It's going to reset to 1:30 now.
minute and 30 seconds.
I think that's right, yeah. The clock did continue to run there.
So a clock issue there, and we now have a minute and 30.
So that's going to give some more time to this Lewiston-Porter offense, but they've struggled with this Dunkirk defense.
First down and 10 as we now have the correct.
I don't think they've completed a pass all game. I don't know if anyone has completed a pass. Here's a run to about the 40. I think he's down at the 39, though.
Fontana Rosa up to the
And that is Fontana Rosa
40-yard line,
again.
gain of 6, so make it 2nd down and 4 for the Lancers.
Here in this first half, Gino Fontana Rosa picking up most of the yardage here for the Lancers. As he makes
Timeout on the field.
Now we have a timeout called.
And a timeout called by Lewiston-Porter. That'll stop the clock at 1:16,
Dunkirk leading 22-6 on the Putnam Record Insurance Agency scoreboard.
just inside of the Lewiston-Porter 40-yard line.
My own defense, nobody stopped the clock. In my own defense, nobody stopped the clock. He did. He kept looking and looking and what?
the ball, second down and 4 yards to go with the ball at someone's 40, trailing 22 to 6 on the Putnam Record Insurance Agency scoreboard. As the Water defense looks for.
So Lew-Port lining up now. They're going to have to be quick. Again, only 1:16 to go until halftime. Dunkirk will look to hold them, starting just inside of the Lew-Port 40-yard line. Here's the snap now. Looking to pass. Almost intercepted by Chris Ortiz. What a game he's having. He done us all on offense, and he almost had the first catch of the game on defense, albeit defensively. But at 6'3", that man can sky up and grab just about anything, as you saw it right there.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Gifted to him on the silver platter right there. And sometimes I feel like those are the ones that you see players drop the most, and you don't expect to be so open.
Well, that's why they're linebackers, and of course, in professional levels, why they're linebackers and receivers.
And quarterback under duress, brought down. That is a sack around the 26-yard line. And
he's finally brought down by number 32.
And Juan Rosado with the sack there. Adrian Washington as well getting in on that play.
Ball is spotted back at the 26-yard line.
That's going to put them back at the 26-yard line. That is a huge loss.
Back in 1 minute.
The clock stopped at 59 seconds left. 4th and 20 from the Lew-Port 26-yard line. Lew-Port has the ball. And I think you have to punt it from here. I mean, I know you're down by 2 touchdowns, but 4th and 20, you haven't been able to stop the Dunkirk run. To turn the ball over from here.
He was like this, so Adrian, he dropped the ball down.
Coach, he's heading back already.
And yes, they are indeed in punt formation. So it'll be John Paul Stewart, quarterback, lined up to punt for Lew-Port. High snap, and it's over his head into the end zone. Recovered, and he's going to run it out. No, he's going to punt it from the end zone. It is fielded at the 40-yard line. And breaking tackles brought down now at the 38-yard line. I think momentum carried him to about the 35. And what an incredible play by John Paul Stewart. That had safety or touchdown written all over it, and he somehow managed to scoop it up in the end zone, run and punt it on the run, and actually get about 40 yards of distance on that punt. A horrible snap that was way over his head. That might be the most impressive play of the game right there. What an incredible turnaround that was for John Paul Stewart. He saved his team big time on that one. Again, not only did he prevent a defensive touchdown or a safety, he actually managed to get the punt off, and it was a decent one. Now the Marauders have 44 seconds from the 36-yard line. And here's Camacho, tries to hurl his man, he's fumbled it. It comes down, recovered by Lew-Port at the 32, but he might have been down by contact. And he's staying down. It looks like Camacho might have been hurt on that play. So the training staff coming out now to meet him.
All season, why not? Every game we have somebody on the field.
The Marauders lead at 22-6 on the Putnam Record Insurance Agency scoreboard back in 1 minute.
Well, the Marauders have certainly dealt with their share of injuries this season. Quarterback Phil Messina out with a collarbone. Also, the other quarterback, Earl Stewart, out with a collarbone injury. Eric Mendoza has been out all season. Jamari Terry is out with a groin injury. Gavin Cave has an ACL injury. And Jackson Pence has a broken leg.
Can you put 31 seconds up?
So he's able to sit up now. Again, this is Jose Camacho down. Clock being reset to 31 seconds. The score 22-6. And Camacho is up to his feet now, and he's going to be able to walk it off on his own power.
I was on 28. Was it really? It was on 28.
Juan Rosado has, Jose Camacho has come off the field for Dunkirk under his own power, but it looked like he was favoring his left shoulder there as he was coming off. And Dunkirk has seen a lot of bodies go down this season. We've seen Angel Rios.
Well, I think with a 22-6 lead, it's still fairly early in the game, but the way Dunkirk is playing, this might be the end of Jose Camacho's night. They've been playing very well.
Right tackle broke his leg, and now we have Camacho getting injured on this play.
Gavin Kane also injured for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, I think he was injured in the Maritime game.
Yeah, he was injured a while ago too, but yeah, it's certainly been just just an unfortunate rush of injuries for the Marauders this season. They just haven't been healthy all year. And to be 5-3 at this juncture with every player they've lost is honestly pretty impressive.
Dunkirk has the football, 2nd down and 4 at the Lewiston-Porter 32-yard line. 31 seconds showing on the clock. Allstrom under center, 1 back set.
2nd and 4, looking to pass. It's a deep ball, looking end zone, double coverage, and it's knocked away, but there is a flag, and it looks like it's going to be pass interference in the end zone. That is a huge play for Dunkirk if it's going their way for pass interference, which I think it will.
It looks like it's going to be a pass interference called against the Marauders.
Oh, no, it's going to be offensive pass interference, and that's going to back the Marauders up a bit.
He's not sure where that one came from. It looked like there's definite push off there. I didn't see it anything on the part of Ortiz. I just saw the contact by Lewiston-Porter, so they're going to get the Marauders for the pass interference.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't really see that either. I didn't see any pass interference on the play. I didn't think Lewiston was going to
Working that back 20 yards.
And they're going to back them up very far.
The 48-yard line.
They're backing the Marauders all the way up to the 48-yard line.
15-yard apparently.
That's a 15-yard penalty.
15-yard penalty called on that play. It takes it back to the 48 of the Lancers.
With 26 yards, that penalty right there might have just saved the Lancers.
So the ball's back at the 48-yard line of Lewiston-Porter.
So here's a run for Ortiz. He's going to get inside of the 45, and it looks like he's able to carry forward to about the 43.
Ortiz.
Well, it looks like they're going to give him the 42. 12, 11 seconds,
Timeout on the field call.
and timeout called with 11 seconds to go.
11 seconds showing before halftime. Dunkirk leading 22-6 on the Putnam Record scoreboard back in 30 seconds.
Well, good news in the break. Jose Camacho is walking around. He has a bit of a limp, but he seems to be okay. But it looks like they're going to take him over to the trainer, but he is able to walk in his own power.
Right, they're counting.
Injured at the start of this drive is it looks like he's heading on his way back to the locker room and again favoring his left shoulder.
So he is heading back to the locker room, but he's able to walk under his own power, which is a good sign. That was a pretty big hit that he took. So the Marauders now will have the ball at the 42-yard line after the timeout, looking to pass, and it is caught, and Milliman taking off now and brought down around the 31-yard line with 2 seconds left in the clock. It will run out, and that will do it for the first half.
And that's the end of the first half with the score of the Marauders 22.
So the Marauders lead 22-6 over the Lewiston-Porter Lancers.
Our score at the break, the Dunkirk Marauders 2 and the Lewiston-Porter Lancers 6. We'll have the halftime show for you in 2 minutes right here on WDO.
Testing 1, 2. Dylan?
It's going to be huge. What is that?
So we're back, folks, here at Dunkirk High School. The score is 22-6 as we get ready to start the third quarter. Dunkirk, of course, has the lead. Lewiston-Porter will kick off. Dunkirk will receive. The weather has changed in the halftime break. It's now raining, which could make it a bit more difficult to hold on to the football, and that's probably going to help Enuel Barreto, who has already produced some kicks that have been very difficult to field for Lewiston-Porter.
Second half.
Want to go into retreating and they're just getting dumped on by snow. And it's going to be that mushy slush, that 40-degree and just.
So the kick is teed off as Frank Pravit is ready to kick off, and the team will line up now.
Let's get ready for the third quarter.
2 men deep to receive for the Marauders.
As number 32, Frank Previtt, has it teed up. 2 men back deep for Dunkirk at the 10. Previtt has his arm in the air, approaches the ball.
And it'll be a line drive to the 20. It's going to be fielded. And now it's going to be tipped out around the 17. And they'll throw the flag on that. It looks like it was not touched. So it'll just be a kickoff out of bounds.
The Marauders will be setting up shop right there as we get this second half going.
15 yards, probably like, what, 2 Chris Ortiz carries, maybe 1 with the way today's game's been going. Yeah, I would just expect to see a lot more of him. And I mean, that's pretty much been their game plan this season.
Marauders will take the penalty and force the Lancers to re-kick.
Well, the Marauders will accept the penalty. It's going to make the Lancers have to re-kick now.
The 5-yard penalty will place the ball in.
And a 5-yard penalty will push them back 5 yards. So now Previtt will have to kick off from the 35. Dunkirk better be careful, though. That ball is going to be pretty slippery with these conditions.
I guess you get better field position because his kick will be shorter.
Janko. What an idiot. Yeah.
So here's Previtt's kick. And it's going to go down the other side. Fielded at the 25-yard line. Breaking up to the 45, to the 50, now to the 40. Dragging people to the 35, down around the 33-yard line. A fantastic return by the Marauders.
Marauders was set up on offense right there.
Special teams unit run hard again after they had just
And that is a fantastic return by Jashawn Kauser. A return of
Yeah, I guess that worked.
of almost 50 yards. It's going to be about a 47-yard return.
Looks like a 4.
See where it goes, and obviously they're at the 32. So this is
They're in a 4
this is
now,
a double
coach.
Dunkirk area right here.
First down and 10, I formation, power I, handoff.
So here's Ortiz wrapped up in the backfield, and that's got to make Lew-Port feel good.
Minimal gain on the play.
He will be stopped, picks up maybe about a foot, maybe half a yard, and that's going to put Dunkirk just inside of the 33-yard line for second down.
Second down and 10 for the Marauders.
It's not let Ortiz get by them, because when he gets by them, then he causes trouble. He can
That I'm
sometimes
not
be stopped
100%
at the line
sure.
of scrimmage. It's just usually once he gets into the second level with the guys that are really smaller than him, he can just usually take over.
Second and 10. Marauders at their own 33, moving from left to right.
So we'll see if the Marauders can take advantage of this excellent field position they've been given by an outstanding return from Jashawn Kauser. And it is Ortiz breaking loose inside of the 20 and finally dragged down around the 17-yard line.
Ortiz with that explosion right up.
Ortiz breaks up the middle.
Chris Ortiz continuing to have a monster game tonight. He is terrorizing that secondary. As long as the Dunkirk offensive line can get him by the Lew-Port D-line,
That's a Marauder first down.
it is nothing but bad news for Lew-Port.
Again, that would really put this one over.
Dunkirk again has a 22-6 lead. They've already killed off about a minute and a half of the third quarter.
Inside the red zone, 18-yard line. Ortiz the tailback in the power I. Allstrom under center. Snap.
And oh, it's a fumble, and Alstrom's going to fall on top of it. He will recover it around the 26-yard line.
25-yard line.
But it looks like they're going to mark him at the 24. That's going to be a break for Dunkirk. It's going to be now third
Unlike the first one,
and about 14.
that's pretty important as well. So, yeah, that's unfortunate for the Marauders offense. It's a pretty big setback right there.
Second down and 16, ball at the 24-yard line. 9:55 and counting. Third quarter of play at Carl Hefner Field. Dunkirk breaks the huddle, and they'll be going with the power I set.
So another power set. Now they're going to send a motion to the receiver out to the left.
Snap. Quick handoff to Barretto.
Here's the handoff to Barretto,
Down near the 15.
and he is brought down just a little inside of the 15-yard line.
Inside handoff. He gets all the way down to the
Fourth carry of the game.
He gets to, looks like they're going to mark him around the 12 or 13.
He saw in the first
It's going to be fourth down and about 4 or 5 yards. So now some decisions. Barretto has been good as a kicker. Do they want to take a field goal, or do they want to go for it here?
third down. I don't know. I thought it was fourth down.
2-6 lead for Dunkirk.
They got third down.
Record and certain stages of scoreboard. We'll try to give you some more updates from the Fredonia Cleveland Hill game. Power I set on 3rd and 5.
We're going to call it third down. It is 3rd and 5. Breaking to the outside is Alstrom, and he gets to about the 11. Not enough. And now it will be fourth down.
Archie gets down to the 11-yard line. It'll be fourth down and about 3.
Maybe that was it.
Legs down to the 11 instead of 4th and 3.
So this will be 4th and 3 now. And as I said last time, some decision-making for Dunkirk here. Do they want to take the field goal with Barretto in these slippery conditions, or go for it when this Lew-Port defense has done a pretty good job of stopping them on this drive?
Possession game, if I'm not mistaken. It's 2 touchdowns and 2 points.
Remember, Lew-Port rallied in the fourth.
So it looks like they're going to go for it on fourth down. 4th and 3. Handoff to Barreto. And he's still going. And now he is going to be brought down. He is shy of the line of scrimmage. That'll be a turnover on downs. And now Newport will take over.
And Newport will take over on downs.
Lost 3 on the play, back to the 14-yard line. So the Lancers take over on downs with 7:47 left in the third quarter.
Big stop right there by Newport. They keep themselves.
So 7:47 to go in the third. Breath of life here for Newport. They'll get the ball. They are deep in their own territory. They're on the 14-yard line. And now here's a handoff. It's up to about the 17-yard line. That's going to leave them about 6 yards shy, 6-7 yards short of the first down.
Pick up a 4, and it'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Lancers.
So with that 4-yard carry, Gino Fontana-Rosa now has over 100 yards. He's sitting at 103 yards today, and we are still early in the third quarter.
Yes, he is.
So here's a handoff again down the middle, and he's going to be, looks at just a bit shy of the first down. You're going to mark him down at just shy of the 25-yard line.
Fontana-Rosa gets it to the 25.
And no, they will give him the first down. They will move the chains, so it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Lancers at the 25-yard line.
I mean, they're kind of killing their own clock here. Obviously, there's still a lot of time left to go. But, when you can only run the ball, you're not going to move it very fast. So they're kind of running themselves out of time.
Right slide.
1st and 10, 25-yard line.
Yes.
John Paul Stewart, the quarterback, out of the shotgun. 2 backs in the backfield. Snap, handoff, and the ball carry.
And breaking the 30-yard line now with the handoff down to the 31. That's a run of about 6 yards. Maybe even 7. It looks like they're going to mark him down at the 32 now. Maybe just a bit shy of the 32.
Starting to lap a little bit here. Under center, Stewart, snap.
Stewart looking to throw. He is brought down in the backfield. The ball comes out, and it's going to Dunkirk. It's going the other way. A turnover on the 21-yard line.
And the fumble recovery. And the Marauders will take over at the 23.
The Dunkirk Marauders with a big turnover here. And an excellent opportunity to extend their 22-6 lead.
This defense isn't passed on very much, and their pass rush is honestly phenomenal. With both sides, with Millivan and then whoever they send off the other edge, the quarterback is kind of in a nightmare.
Champ's out there.
Excellent pass rush, excellent penetration, nice job by Arizona.
So the Marauders now on offense. Here's the handoff to Ortiz down the middle, inside the 20, getting to the just outside of the 15.
Short of the 15-yard line, and it'll be 2nd down.
Ortiz gets just outside the 15-yard line.
So this is going to be 2nd down and about 4.
It'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Marauders.
What? Yeah, he's in the wrong spot.
A chance to really
Look how far back he is.
kill shot here on Newport.
That's the second turnover of the day.
Oh, right.
And they turned the ball over on the first play of the game. Now it's the other one. All from under center.
So another handoff to Ortiz, and he powers through inside of the 10. He's down about the 8-yard line, maybe even the 7. That'll be enough for a first down for the Marauders.
Padding his stats, carry after carry.
So it looks like they're going to mark him at the 8-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal now from the 8 for the Marauders. Chris Ortiz continuing to dominate this game. And if I'm Dunkirk, I'm planning to just run this in right up the middle until we get to the end zone here. They're really struggling to stop. And they will do just that. This time it's Rosado. Can he have the momentum from the push? It's going to be close. Still no signal. And they're going to mark him just a bit short. Just shy of the goal line there. And again, you focus on Chris Ortiz too much, and Juan Rosado pops right up with a few carries here, and you see it right there. The fullback taking it in most of the way there.
Inside 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Dunkirk leading 22-6, but can really cement a bowl championship here with a touchdown on this possession. Allstrom under center, backs in a power I set. Snap, give is to the up back.
And it is in for a touchdown. Touchdown Dunkirk. And Juan Rosado will finish what he started on the last play. A 1-yard touchdown to make it 28-6 with 3:33 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that was not obviously a QB keeper, but it was a quick hitter. And Rosado gets his second touchdown of the day.
So that's touchdown number 2 for Juan Rosado, who has been overshadowed in large part by Chris Ortiz. But despite all that Chris Ortiz has done, Juan Rosado's having himself a great game. Here's a keep for Allstrom. He's going to have a hard time getting in, but he does. The 2-point conversion is good. That'll bring Dunkirk up to 30 points on the day. And again, we have Ortiz, we have Rosado. Cannot forget about Alex Allstrom. He hasn't had the opportunity to do much as a passer this game, but when he's had to scramble with his feet, he's been quite effective, and you see it there again. He already has a touchdown on a QB keep, on a QB sneak actually, and he'll keep it here and run it in on the right sideline. So 30-6, again, 3:33 to go in the third quarter. Dunkirk now with a commanding lead over Lewiston-Porter. And now it'll be Barreto to kick off. And again, his kickoffs have been a lot of trouble for this Lewiston-Porter special teams squad to deal with. Now with the rain coating the football, it's going to be even tougher to field his kicks cleanly. Here's the kick. It is high, it is deep, and it is out of bounds at the 24-yard line. The flag is down.
Kick goes out of bounds and the flag on the field.
The near side, and Lewiston will be taking over at their own 35 unless they decide to make Dunkirk kick it again. I don't expect them to.
So I think that this penalty will be a blessing in disguise for Lewiston-Porter. They won't have to try and field the slippery kick, and it looks like they're just going to take the penalty from where the ball landed. So Lewiston-Porter will start at the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Lancers coming up shortly.
It used to be a popular thing to do on punts before teams were given the option of
we got wing right or wing left.
So a wideout on the near side. In motion now. Run down the middle. Looked like he tripped up on his own feet. He's down at the 35-yard line. No gain. That is Fontana Rosa. Looked like he tripped or maybe slipped. And then Adrian Washington very quick to touch him and make him down by contact. So the Dunkirk senior will be credited with the tackle. And Fontana Rosa can consider himself lucky because at 6'2", 355 pounds, that's not somebody he would want tackling him any other way than a simple touch there. So back to pass, looking short. It is caught and brought down at the 30. That's going to be a 5-yard loss.
Screen pass is thrown out to the left side, but he's taken down by number 3.
It's been a rough night so far for John Paul Stewart.
3-yard loss of the play, and 3rd down and 13.
Yeah, and really, like I've said a few times, passing the ball.
That right there was one of the few completions, one of the few pass completions on either side in this whole game, and it goes for, looks like they're going to call it a 3-yard loss. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 13 now, which is pushing a lot more pressure onto running back Gino Fontana-Rosa, who already has over 100 yards in the game. They're asking him to be their entire offense. And here he goes again. He'll power his way up to about the 38-yard line. That's still going to be very much short of a first down. So that's going to bring up about 4th and 6. So decision time here. 30-6. They're down 24 points. It looks like they're going to punt it, though. And with under a minute 20 to go in the 3rd quarter, this has to feel to Dunkirk like a bit of a concession by Lewiston-Porter. And that was a bad snap, but Stewart's going to turn it into a respectable punt. And several bounces. They're going to field it from the 24, running up now to the 34. So about a 10-yard return there by Chris Torres. And that's a smart play there by the sophomore from Dunkirk. It's wet conditions, a slippery football. The last thing you want to do when you're the last person back there is fumble the ball and give up a special teams touchdown. Better to take a few less yards, especially with the big lead they have, and play it safe there, which is exactly what the sophomore did.
Last week was involved in the shootout of sorts against Bergard. They didn't trail in that game, but the Bulldogs gave them a bit of a fight. Dunkirk was able to pull away in the 3rd quarter.
So the Marauders now from the 34-yard line. Here's a handoff now, and it's going to go to about the 40, maybe the 39. No, they're going to put it right at the 40.
Ortiz gets out to about the 40-yard line.
So that is Chris Ortiz continuing to power his way through Lewiston-Porter. So that'll be 2nd and 5 now from the 40. They need to get up to the Dunkirk, well, about the 44.5-yard line.
There's for sure going to be one. I think there's only one.
From the 40-yard line.
Well, Dunkirk's fortunate. They have plenty of capable runners on this team, and they can afford to just keep running the football. There's a sizable loss there, though.
Yeah, we're going to switch sides anyways, Coach.
So Jashawn Kauser, who's been pretty good up to this point, will suffer maybe a loss of a couple inches. That will do it for quarter number 3. Dunkirk with 30, Lewiston-Porter with 6. It'll be 3rd and 5, Dunkirk with the football from their own 40-yard line when we come back.
No, I don't think there was, Coach.
So they'll take the field here to start the 4th quarter. And the spot of the ball has been moved back a little bit now. It's a little closer to the 39-yard line than it was to the 40. But a handoff here. No, it's a fake. Big hit there on Alstrom, and the flag will go.
Alstrom's under pressure, and there's a flag on the field.
Yeah, it's
Looks
a
like it's
walk
going to be
down.
an intentional grounding call against the quarterback.
So they're going to call, looks like intentional grounding on Alstrom.
They'll be forced into a punt situation.
That'll bring up 4th down,
Who is our backup seed?
and looks like Dunkirk will punt from here.
I mean, it's even been around.
I'll tell you, my phone is telling me the temperature is 57 right now. It doesn't feel like that. Yeah. It feels a little bit colder.
We'll see what it is here, as it's 4th down and long here for the Marauders. No, it's not too far off. Yeah, I got 56 at Dunkirk Airport.
It feels chillier than that right now. Probably just the rain still coming down pretty hard. It's been just coming down consistently.
Snap to Barretto, gets it away.
So Barretto will punt it. It'll bounce at the 45, cross the 50, and it'll stop at the Lewiston-Porter 49-yard line.
We'll stop at the 49-yard line,
Dunkirk will take over, or Lewiston-Porter will take over.
and the Lancers will take over.
So Lewiston-Porter just barely backed up into their own end, 1 yard shy of the 50-yard line. The Lancers will take over with 11:42 to go in the 4th quarter.
What'd you say the score was?
28-20 Cleveland
Oh
Hill.
my goodness. In the second quarter?
7:44 left in the second quarter. As Kevin Syracuse is just informing me.
Let's see. We got
So
1,
Lewiston
2.
taking over 1st and 10 at midfield. Lancers moving from left to right in this quarter. Snap. Handoff.
So the fake, now it's a handoff, and brought down just over the 50. Looks like it was Corey Stack
Picks up about 1.
with the carry. That's going to put them onto the Dunkirk 49-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down for the Lancers, 2nd and 9.
Well, you have to wonder how much,
Kid taps his helmet.
if the rain over there is as similar as it is here, because it can be different. It's only a few miles away, but maybe it could not be raining over there. You never know.
Yeah, that's
So we
is
got
possible.
trips technically this side.
2nd down and 9 from the 49-yard line.
Oh, that's full line.
Stewart back to
So here looking to throw now. It is intercepted. Peter Paredes is going at the 50, the 45. He coughs it up. He's fumbled, and it is recovered by Lewiston. And then it's the quarterback, John Paul Stewart, coming up with the ball around the 40-yard line. I think he was able to get 2 feet in bounds before he stepped out. And yes, the referees are going to give it back to Lewiston. So it'll be a loss of some yardage for Lewiston. But Lewiston will keep the ball.
Yeah, that was wild. Milliman brought the pressure once again, passing on this team. I don't know why you would do that. But, I mean,
And that's got to be frustrating for Peter Paredes.
I think that must have been the wet ball. That's the only logical thing that could have happened there. Because he wasn't touched, he tripped a little bit.
So it'll be 1st down now.
He slipped out of his hands, and boy, he was real close to having.
Here's a handoff here to Gino Fontana Rosa, and he is going to be just shy of the 40-yard line.
1st down, and they will mark him at the 40-yard line, about 3 yards.
Fontana Rosa gets 2. He's brought down on that play.
Yeah, I mean,
24.
There's
Shannon texted
a
him.
couple of plays today that have just been real weird, and that was one of them. The other one being that punt earlier in the game where Stewart had to punt it from his own end zone after a bad snap. We've seen some real weird stuff going on today.
It'll be 2nd down and 7 as we have 10-16 and counting in the 4th quarter.
Now we got
So
trips.
Lewiston at the line of scrimmage here. John Paul Stewart in shotgun formation. He'll back up looking to run. Now he's going to throw it. He is brought down inside of the 40. He is sacked around the 37-yard line.
I tell you what, he's been a playmaker on this Dunkirk defense all season.
And he struggled tonight. I mean, the offense under John Paul Stewart has only managed to put up 6 points to Dunkirk, but he has saved this team several times now. First, there was the punt in the first half where the snap went well over his head. He had to run back into his own end zone and managed to punt it 40 yards on the run from his end zone. And then there's this where after throwing the interception, he's able to recover the fumble and get his feet in bounds before stepping out. That was a great play by Stewart there. And while he hasn't been able to pack on the points tonight, he has played some very good recovery football. Here's a deep ball wide open, and he overthrew his man, John Wendt, by quite a bit.
Intended for Wendt.
He's going.
And that
So that's going to bring up 4th and 10 for the Lancers. They're coming out to punt.
that's the kind of attention that guy deserves. He's earned this season. And like I said, he's one of the players I'm going to miss watching just because he's just really fun to watch play.
So Newport will punt the ball with a 4th down and 10.
So 9:12 to go in the 4th quarter. Dunkirk again leading 30-6 right now. Here's the snap. It's off a bit, but Stewart able to make good of it. He's going to punt it. It'll bounce around the 40. Fielded now and brought down at the 47-yard line is Chris Torres.
As the Marauders will take over on offense.
Instead of letting the ball bounce, he's able to pick it up, and he does get some positive yardage on the return.
But that's not a bad return for the Dunkirk sophomore, Chris Torres. He's playing it safe out there. That's his second return I've seen since the rain's been coming down, where he's waited for it to bounce a little bit, return it. He's picked it up when he feels very safe with it, and he's only returning it for about 10 yards, but he's not turning the ball over. He's not risking giving up a big play on special teams, which we've seen it's been a sloppy game at times, and Chris Torres has done his 111th to make sure that this team stays in optimum position. Here's a run for Chris Ortiz, stepping over people, brought down in the secondary at the 37-yard line. What a monster he has been. He just dragged 2 defenders while high-stepping over a couple defenders who are already on the ground. Newport just cannot contain Chris Ortiz. He has been incredible this game. He'll head to the bench now, but that doesn't mean much for Newport because Dunkirk still has several other runners who've proven very capable. And they'll showcase it here. Here's a big run inside of the 30, and it is Felix Garcia, the ball carrier. That's going to be a pickup of almost 15 yards. That's going to be a Dunkirk first down. He's got them on the 22-yard line. So speaking of the sophomore class, Felix Garcia and Chris Torres look to be a fixture of this team for years to come. Felix Garcia brought up from JV and already making his presence felt there. It could be a long few years coming up here.
Looks like they're back in the 5.
1st and 10, 22-yard line. Alex Oster, under center. He'll hand it off to the...
And here's a run now. And that's going to be Jashawn Kauser, another member of that sophomore class. He gets maybe a yard, but you can't really blame him. He got wrapped up pretty quickly there and managed to fight his way through.
Second down for the Marauders.
No, Chris Ortiz on these last couple snaps, giving him a little breather.
I'll tell you what, this running game of Dunkirk is outstanding this year, but next year they're going to keep Chris Ortiz. They will lose Juan Rosado, but Felix Garcia will be a year older. And it's Garcia again, and this time he gets inside of the 10-yard line.
Felix Garcia gets inside the 10-yard line.
I know.
Really good in his action.
It's Gonzalez.
Solid. You know, that's really encouraging for a team that likes to run the ball. I remember it was a few years ago. I think they pretty much had a running back by committee. They had 3 or 4.
I don't know why I'm saying Garcia. He's one of my students.
So a correction, that was Gonzalez, not Garcia on that last play. And now here's Kauser. He's going to get stuffed at the line.
Kauser gets stopped at the line. No gain on the play. You got to make a correction. That's not Felix Garcia. It's Felix Gonzalez.
The running back to be had him transferred. And then their other running back moved back home to California, so they didn't know what they were doing at running back for the beginning of the season. Originally, they were going to go with Earl Stewart, but originally they were going to go with Earl Stewart, but he got injured, and Chris Ortiz is building quite well.
All right, correction on that youngster for Dunkirk is Felix Gonzalez, who's carrying the ball, and he gets a handoff and he fumbles the ball.
So Gonzalez now has fumbled the ball,
For no gain after he
but he was able to recover it. So
Gain on that play to beat
no gain, and this is a big stop here for this Lew-Port defense. With 5:30 to go in the game and a 30-6 deficit, a comeback is looking pretty unlikely. But they can at least keep their head high that they're able to stop this dominant Dunkirk run game.
So it'll be third down and goal from the 8. With Felix Gonzalez as the tail.
So Felix Gonzalez will stay in the backfield now.
Alston under center.
And he'll take the handoff now.
He is down.
And he's going to pick up a yard or two. He's going to be down at the 6-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th and 6 now.
It'll be 4th down and 6 for the Marauders.
And Gonzalez will stay out.
Adrian Washington's out there, so
Ask Coach Neckmeyer if he has
Kyle
to
Williams type play.
block.
Well, you know, Adrian Washington.
And now here comes Barreto out.
Yeah.
Had a Sam Adams moment with the 15-yard or 20-yard.
So we'll see what they decide to do. Both of these guys can run the football. Barreto can also kick. And Gonzalez ran to the sideline. Now he'll come back onto the field. And they're going to set up for a field goal. So it's going to be a 23-yard attempt by Barreto.
I don't think we have seen Dunkirk attempt a field goal at all this season. We've seen them attempt extra points, but not field
Flags
goals.
not moving, so he doesn't
23-yard
have any
attempt
win.
for Barreto.
Now, if you look closely at the uprights, the flags really aren't moving. There's not movement. And it's going to be shanked to the right. It is no good.
Field goal try is no good.
Retains the lead.
So Lew-Port will take over now at around the 13-yard line.
Post-game show will announce our WDOE player of the game, and that's
Want to-
trophy presented by Smith and Smith.
Want to announce that at the end of this game, Section 6 football will be awarded the character athlete of the game to a competitor from both schools.
On the Putnam Record Insurance Agency scoreboard.
Also, we'll have the presentation of the Section 6 Class B Bowl Championship Trophy and the runner-up certificates.
Last update that was 28-23. Lew-Port with a first down and 10 at its own 20.
So Lew-Port will start at the 20 now.
Left to right after the
Here's a short pass. It is dropped inside of the 20-yard line. Matt Brown was the intended receiver.
Be second down.
Went through his hands in the wet conditions.
Brown was unable to make the grab. It'll be second and 10.
Well, I mean, I think we've seen the rain play a huge factor because both teams have really struggled hanging on to the ball here in the second half.
4 minutes and 17 seconds to go.
Yeah, what about Ellis? Okay, I'm coming. What about Ellis tomorrow?
The Marauders are on their way to their first Consolation Bowl title since 2014.
I'm coming down to see you guys later.
Second and 10 for the Lancers.
So here's second and 10 for the Lancers. Several in the backfield. It'll be a handoff here. And Fontana Rosa will get up to the 25-yard line.
Number 24, Chandler. Texador, number 75, Joel Burrows.
And that's going to be Burrows on the tackle.
And 6 for the Lancers.
Once again, thank you, major presenting sponsor, Jamestown Mattress, for tonight's broadcast of Dunkirk Marauders football here on WDOE Dunkirk, also streaming live at chautauquatoday.com. It's been all Dunkirk here tonight at Carl Hefner Field as they led 22-6 at the half, tacked on to their lead in the third quarter, and have been coasting here as they lead Lew-Port 30-6.
So inside of 3.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Again, the score is still 30 points for Dunkirk, 6 points for Lewiston-Porter. Here's a pitch on the right side, and brought down around the 30-yard line is Gino Fontana-Rosa. Or no, sorry, that was Frank Previtt with the carry. Number 32, Frank Previtt, not number 23, Gino Fontana-Rosa.
Nice pickup right there. I think Milliman got that tackle from behind. Saved probably a few more yards there. So time ticking off the clock here.
So it'll bring up a first down with 3 minutes to go for the Lewiston-Porter Lancers.
First down and 10 at the 30-yard line. Only touchdown for Lewiston-Porter coming courtesy of Gino Fontana-Rosa in the first quarter. Snap.
Here's the pitch, and this is Previtt breaking some tackles and brought down at the 31, maybe the 32. A lot of work for a short gain, though.
32, a little just across the 32. It'll be second down and 8.
Second down and, we'll call it 8 yards to go. They give him 2 yards on the play. More high school football coming up on Friday on our sister station, Kicks Country, 96.5 and 100.3. It'll be Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton playing at Southwestern in a 7 o'clock kickoff. The winner of that contest goes to New Era Field, and they will rate the winner of the contest between Wilson and Portville on the other side of the bracket. Second and 8 from the 32.
So second and 8 here coming up for Lewiston-Porter from the 32-yard line. Here's the snap, a handoff down the middle, stumbling up to the 40-yard line. Will it be enough for a first down?
That was Parker Reisman, the fullback, number 33.
Yes, it will. They will move the chains and spot the ball around the 41-yard line.
Massive first down.
So, good slithery run there from the Lewiston-Porter fullback to pick up the first.
Yeah, and if he didn't stumble, pretty much the beginning of that run probably would have gotten a lot more. He had a lot of wide open space.
So it'll be first down. Clock ticking. 1:20 to go in the fourth quarter here.
Turf probably does get pretty slippery in the rain.
First down and 10, 41-yard line. Snap.
Here's a pitch, and the play is whistled dead. And Felix Gonzalez will come back into the game as Chris Ortiz will head to the bench.
In terms of any penalties thrown, I think there have only been 2 to my recollection.
There was a pass interference against Chris Ortiz.
And we have an offside.
Offside has been called against the Marauders.
And looks like the call is going to be offside against the Marauders as Mateo Jancelik will limp to the bench with an injury to his right leg.
I think that offside.
But he hopped to the bench very quickly so that this clock continues to run.
Well, it's going to be first and
Just
5
read that,
after
and
the
then these
offside.
are the names of the 2 winners. And we'll wave to you when we get to the...
And here's the snap. It's a run down the middle
We're going to do this award.
and brought down at the 50-yard line
Okay? Thank you so much.
is going to be Frank Previtt.
He takes it out to the 50. It'll be second down and 1.
So that'll be 2nd and 1 now with just about 30 seconds left in this game.
Will end their 2019 season on a high note as the Class B Consolation Bowl champions. As we tick down to 21 seconds. So this will be the last play of the game in all likelihood. And second down and short, snap.
And here's a run down the middle, breaking loose, coming to the right side, the 30, the 25, the 20, and brought down around the 21-yard line.
So pretty good chunk play right there for
That is Frank Previtt with a big run
17-yard line.
and a timeout called.
Wind the clock down. We're going to ask everybody to stay tuned as we have
So
presentations.
one more play.
there will be one more play.
And the
We'll take a timeout here as well with 2 seconds to go.
2 seconds to go in the game. Time for one last play.
ask everyone to
Insurance agency scoreboard.
stay tuned as those 2 presentations will be made at the conclusion of this game.
I'm already tired. I was up late last night because my goddaughter was over. We had dinner with her and her boyfriend. So we were up late. Just barely able to keep my eyes open today. Oh, they're getting ready to douse Saratory. I should say, look out, Saratory.
Yeah. Don't ruin it.
You better go get him now. He's not looking.
So last play of the game here. It'll be a passing play. Looking deep, end zone! And it is incomplete, and that will do it for this one.
The game will conclude.
Incomplete pass as
And they will douse the coach in Gatorade.
Will win the Class B Bowl championship.
And the Dunkirk Marauders are your Class B Bowl champions.
season as the Chuck Funk Memorial Bowl champions.
Teams will line up to shake hands.
The Dunkirk Marauders 30 and the Lewiston-Porter Lancers 6.
The final score, Dunkirk 30, Lewiston-Porter 6.
The final score, the Marauders 30 and the Lancers 6. I want everybody to stay tuned after our sportsmanship shaking of hands. We have 2 presentations today.
Running attack and Lewiston-Porter not having any answers for it.
Yep, it was a clean game.
So it was
Both sides of the ball. Well,
it became a wet field, particularly in the second half, but an outstanding game for junior running back Chris Ortiz, who had over 100 yards, a couple touchdowns. Also, senior fullback Juan Rosado had a pair of touchdowns.
Thanks for joining me on the broadcast here tonight. I know you got
And a big congratulations to sophomore quarterback Alex Ahlstrom. He's really a tight end and corner, but he stepped in to play quarterback for this game, and he led the team to a 30-6 victory. He didn't do much on the passing side of things, but he did have some impressive runs, including a QB sneak for a touchdown and a QB keep for a 2-point conversion.
thank you, Greg. It was good to work with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, spectators and the teams assembled on the game field, today's award is going to the athletes who best demonstrate positive character and qualities in speech, conduct, love, faith, and integrity of the game. I would like to announce the character athlete of the game for today's contest. For Lewiston-Porter, number 23, Gino Fontana Rosa. And for the Dunkirk Marauders, Adrian Washington. Congratulations to both of those players for a fine demonstration of character. Now, on behalf of Section 6, Ken Stote will be doing the presentations for the runner-up and the Class B Bowl champion. Presenting the runner-up certificates to Lewiston-Porter. We'd like to congratulate them on a fine season. And to your Class B Bowl champions, the Dunkirk Marauders. Again, we extend a congratulations to the Dunkirk Marauders football team for a fine season. And on behalf of the Dunkirk High School administration, faculty, and staff, we thank all of you for your participation in this year's Dunkirk
their
football season.
They defeated the Lewiston-Porter Lancers by a score of 30-6. Greg Larson with you here on the postgame show on WDOE, also streaming live at chautauquatoday.com. Our postgame show brought to you by the NetSync Store. Great things are in store at the NetSync Store. The Dunkirk Marauders getting it done on defense on the first play of the game.
So a terrific game for the Dunkirk Marauders as they will finish as the Class B champions by a score of 30-6, defeating the Lewiston-Porter Lancers. I'm Jordan Rosas. Thanks so much for tuning in to Dunkirk Access. Streaming on YouTube at DunkirkAccess.com and on Spectrum, channel 1301.
Dunkirk grabbing the lead back on 2 plays into